I am encountering more and more clients who have this internal monologue. Some of them think that critical voice is spiritual. It's not. Today I want to talk about our internal monologue, how we talk to ourselves. Most people hear voices. They either recognize it as their own voice, or if they're spiritual, they might recognize it as a spirit guide, or if they are critical of themselves and don't feel worthy, it's often a voice that maybe sounds like a parent, a grandparent, a teacher, a very critical voice. I used to have this critical voice when I was younger. It was more like a heckler. I was afraid to eat in public, and if I heard somebody laughing somewhere, I assumed they were laughing at me because I was chubby and I shouldn't have the right to eat. Really, as a child and teenager, that was my thought. I did not have the right to eat because I was already chubby. Crazy, right? As I got older, that went away. I very much came into myself. It wasn't like I was super confident in just chowing down in public, but people eat. You have to eat to stay alive, whatever. Now that I'm in my 50s, I am encountering more and more clients who have this internal monologue. And here's the interesting thing. Some of them think that critical voice is their spirit guide. It's not. Some of them think that that's just how your brain works. You hear things that tell you, don't eat that, you're fat, or you don't deserve that because you didn't work hard enough. You don't get to rest because there's still so much stuff to do. There's a lot of different things these critical voices tell you. That's not your higher self. That's not your spirit guides. That's not God. That's not an angel. It is something, but I'm going to set that aside maybe for another video because it's pretty intense. How we decide how to show up in the world as our authentic self is impacted oftentimes by these internal monologues. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes you have an internal monologue that's like, you can do it, or you're gonna do it because nobody else in your family did it and you're gonna show them all. Or you were a weirdo in high school and you want to prove that you are a worthy adult. These are all things that maybe are not great internal monologues, but inspire you to keep going. Whatever works. At some point, that internal monologue can become really detrimental. I was having a talk with someone this morning, and she is having some financial issues. She has a job that is just okay, and if she's really on task, it'll probably just pay all of her bills. But before she had this job, she had taken out a couple credit cards, and she thought, well, I'll just use them, for living expenses to get by here and there. And then she applied for a new job, and this new job had a lot of promise. It was a nice base salary plus commission, seemed like everything was great. And so she kind of started to focus on that, like, okay, I'm going to get this job and everything's going to be okay. So she messaged me this morning and she was told that they went with a different candidate. And she was doing it's okay, it's fine, the universe has something else for me. What is the message in this? The message is, this just wasn't the job for me. And what I call that is forced positivity. Some people call it spiritual bypassing, whatever you want to call it. She was using the tools that she's been developing to not immediately plummet into a hole. But I could see she was. I could see that she was spiraling, so very slowly descending into a hole. So however we get to the hole, we get to the hole, right? So while she was giving me the fake positivity spiel, she also started talking about internal voice that was saying, you took out these credit cards and now you're not going to be able to make these payments, and you're basically a thief and you've stolen these products or services that you've purchased with these credit cards, and you're just crap, you're just trash. I thought, whoa, how did this go from, okay, the universe has a message for me, to she's a thief? And so I asked her, is that really what the voices in your head are telling you? And then she did. She expanded on it, and it really kind of blew my mind and taught me a lot about internal monologues. She then went on to sort of start energetically predicting the future. She said, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills in 2 weeks or next month, but it's okay. There's going to be something. And that's a really hard place to stay. And eventually, because that's really thin ice to skate on, you will fall through and you will plummet into the abyss. What is inside of you? What is the reservoir that exists inside of you? There's mindset, which seems like it can really be shifted from outside experiences in the moment. You get up on time, everything's going great. You're like, yeah, it's going to be a great day. And then your dog pukes in front of you and you slip in it and now you've fallen. And then your toddler wakes up and has vomit all down the front. And your day that seemed like it was going great, and that mood that you were like, yeah, I'm going to kick today's ass, now is covered in dog and toddler vomit. Or you go to turn the microwave on and nothing happens. And you're like, what in the world? And then you realize none of the power's on in your house. So was it like the neighbor's tree falling and breaking a line? Are they doing work in the area? All of these ideas go through your mind. Or did I not pay the bill? Or did I not have enough money for the bill? And today was the day they shut it off. These are all things that can happen in the real world. And they can affect your mindset if you don't have a deep reservoir of good that's been put in there by knowing who you are as a person and stalking, like not just pretending, not just faking that positivity, but actually deciding somewhere deep within you that no matter what happens today, it's okay. It's an inconvenience, but so what? Dog vomit can be picked up. Kids are pretty much waterproof. You can hose them off. The neighbor's tree, okay, those kinds of things you can call the power company and they will usually attend to that. If you didn't have the money to pay the bill, that's a hard one, but if you get on your phone and start calling around, you can usually find someone to help you get that back on. I know, I've been there more than once. Getting a flat tire, does it suck? Yeah. I am the queen of finding sharp things on the road. If there is only one sharp thing in, a county-wide area, I'm gonna find it. So I always pay that little insurance thing when I buy tires, and I use it. I'm probably the most using it person of tire insurance on the planet, I would say. I don't know why, but I've gotten to where it doesn't bother me anymore. And sometimes I can think, I wonder what was happening on the road ahead of me that having this flat tire kept me from being involved in. Now, I can't always do that, but I don't ever get upset about it anymore. It just, you know what? It's there. Things happen. And I don't even say, that puppy shit happens. I don't say that anymore because shit does happen. And sometimes it literally is dog shit or kid shit, or in my case, chicken shit. But it doesn't matter. Getting to the point in which things can happen and it doesn't screw up your whole day or your whole week. It's just, that's what's happening today. Okay. If you can at least get yourself to a neutral place when something seemingly bad happens to you, that is such a huge bonus. That's the cake. I mean, that's really the cake of life right there. But if you can go one step further and say, that's interesting. I'm curious about what this might have saved me from further up the road or in the future. Or I'm wondering if the world has something better for me, or the universe, or spirit, or God. However you connect to the world at large or the universe, does God have something better in store for me? And now when I ask for things, I say this or something better. If you can think of the universe or God or source as a benevolent parent. My mom wasn't wealthy or rich growing up. We were dirt poor. But she always would give me the best of what was available at the time. So as a little kid, I maybe didn't want that weird baby doll with oddly painted eyes. I wanted the baby alive. But she didn't have the money for that. And so she gave me what she could. Then when I got older and she had more money, she got me the baby alive. What I'm saying is, when you ask for something, when you want a new job, when you need a new car, when you are facing a health outcome, when you're just exhausted and you need a break, always ask for this or something better, and know that you're either going to get what you asked for or something better. Oftentimes, the something better doesn't show up immediately, but generally, when you look back, you think, oh man, gosh, I'm so glad I didn't get the thing I asked for. I got this, which is so much better. Working on yourself to at least not have a negative response when something doesn't go your way is really important. And getting the mindset is the next step to working. But really building that deep reservoir of, I think there's even a book called Unfuckwithable, where you just get to where you're unfuckwithable. You can do it. Like, so what? Everything just burnt down around me. You know what? I'll have a clean slate to work from, and it's gonna be great. Is it gonna be a lot of work to clean up the embers and the ashes and everything that burnt down? Yeah. But what are you gonna do? Just pick it up, get your boots on, and keep working.